Hey there, it's Craig. What in the world is going on with today's episode title, Throw Away Your Resume? To find out, you'll have to tune in after the intro. Welcome back to the Career Growth Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Craig Ancel. We're rolling right into episode 76, Throw Away Your Resume. Now, admittedly, when I was thinking up a title for today's episode, that's probably a little harsh, but there's a strong point behind it, trust me. So the funny thing about throwing away your resume, number one, you need to have one. Number two, you need to know where it is. If you stop for a moment and think, do you have a resume? Yeah, sure. Okay. Where is it? Can you honestly tell me? I'd love to hear from you. I've got 3 forms of social media to connect. At Craig Ancel for LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. You can go on right now, pause this episode, and send me a quick note. Just say, hey, yes, I have a resume, Craig. No, I don't. Or, I found it and it was here, and tell me the location. Also, if you're up for a little more conversation and a little more sharing, tell me the last time you updated it. Just a few words would do. I'm really curious what you have to say about that. The reason why I bring it up, A, do you have one? B, do you know where it is? And C, how old is it? Because frequently when I work with my Resume Masterclass students, they have a hard time locating it and even remembering the last time they updated it. Sometimes they find out they've missed an entire job. They might have performed really well at that position and didn't take the time to document down all their benefits of working that position. And most of the time, they need a resume immediately because of a sudden job loss, a downsizing in their positions or group, or even reduced hours. So you don't want to be in battle stations mode when you need your resume. It's great to have one, check mark, you got it, but it's even better to keep it updated on a regular basis. Now, you say, Craig, that's a lot of work. You're right, it is. But after you get through the basics and you have your overall resume prepped and ready, you can go in every 3 to 6 months, annually, but I wouldn't say any longer than that because you start to forget things, and update it so it's current within the last year, let's say. Now, after you've done that, I'm going to tell you something else. The reason why I titled today's show the way I did, Throw Away Your Resume, that's the singular form. You don't want to have a single resume. You need to have a job-targeted, specific resume each and every time you apply for a position. Now, hold on a minute before you send me some hate mail, okay? If you're in a particular field that you're applying for similar or same type jobs, then a majority of your resume can stay the same. That's the good news. We can all take a big, deep breath there. However, you do want to customize the resume in some way, even if it's a small portion, just so that you're speaking to that company and to that employer. Employers and recruiters can see through a generic resume right away, and many times you won't get a second look. So take the time now, locate it, and update it. You'll really be thankful that you did. Next, set a reminder, maybe on your phone, your computer, your calendar, to update your resume on a regular basis. Now, back to talking about targeted jobs. That's where you're very interested in a particular position with a company. You need to do your research. Be diligent. You're not just applying for a job, you're applying for the job. You should envision yourself almost winning the interview and working there. How would you best fit in? You should know the company's lingo, some of the languages they use, and with resumes, it's very critical that you have keywords identified. So when I talk about a targeted job, that's when you do your research on the company, the culture there, as well as the specific job posting or job description keywords. You want to make sure that whatever capabilities, qualifications, or benefits you can provide that company, that if you align with that and you're capable of performing that and doing that work well, you need to make sure those keywords are written down in your resume in some form or another. In today's day and age, it's highly unlikely that a human will see your resume first. That means your resume, especially if submitted online through like a web portal or some type of company documentation retrieval system, will go through a program called an ATS, which stands for an Applicant Tracking System. That software is designed to help the hiring company filter out higher quality resumes from others. There may be hundreds or even thousands of resumes submitted for certain job postings, depending on the popularity. That tool will rank the resumes based on the usage and frequency of keywords matching the job description. Also, they occasionally will have artificial intelligence powering their search mechanism to parse through or search through your resume to filter out unqualified candidates from the rest of the higher quality hiring pool. So before we go any further, you might want to say, hey Craig, how important really are those keywords? I think it's safe to say significantly. They're one of the top points that scanning systems and humans look for when reviewing your resume. So it's really important that you customize your resume for each and every job application you apply for. Again, if you're working in a similar or same field, you can keep a majority of your content, but it really pays to take a look at the company's website and also print out, if you like, their targeted job description and highlight the keywords that you sync up with and align with that you can service and support. Maybe there's particular areas that you really shine. You might have been recognized for these achievements in your current or prior jobs. Your job is to get that message across to your potential future employer. When you think about your resume, I recommend using a couple tools, a couple acronyms. And one of them is WIIFM, WIIFM. And it stands for What's in It for Me. Now, the trick. We know you want a job. You've created a resume for that specific reason, to be interested in getting an interview and getting hired on. But the WIIFM needs to be focused from the employer's viewpoint. Create your resume. Put it across your desk, put it across your table. Get up out of your chair. Walk over to the other side of the table and sit down. Pick up that resume. Put the hiring company's hat on. Could be a job recruiter, could be a human resource professional. It might even be the hiring manager of that company. And go through your resume next to the targeted job description. Are you really talking to the company in the language, the industry lingo that they use? Will you strike a chord with them in a positive way? Will you entice them to read on? Now, speaking about enticing a reader to read on, it's really about the visual appeal. You also want to make sure your resume is not an eyesore, such that if it does happen to pass through the ATS, the scanning software, and it is preparing to go in front of humans, when you see it, when it's next in the pile, does it look attractive to the eye, appealing, and signal read on, read more? Or is it using too small a font, which makes it difficult on the eyes? Is there too much highlighting, bolding, underlining, italics going on? What do you first see when you pick up your resume? What is the overall message? After that, you have to ask yourself, does it look cluttered? Do I have adequate white space? Am I using good, consistent, strong margins? With all that said, I know we have a lot of stories to tell when we write our resumes, and we have a lot of background, especially when you have significant experience in the industry. One of the things I've focused on talking to HR professionals and hiring managers is what the resume portrays, the message, the story behind it. And that's important too because of your ATS scanning that goes on. But one thing that you can think about differently, what can you eliminate from your resume that does not align with your future targeted job? Giving too much can cause an eyesore. It can be a distraction, and it can break your resume's message or storyline. Your resume really needs to be focused. That means you should strongly consider removing content that does not apply for the hiring job. It's not going to align with their keywords, so it's not going to get any credit or value if scanned through software. It's going to distract from your overall message because those other topics or other job experiences that you have, work experience, if they don't apply to that hiring company, they're going to breeze through that and kind of wonder, why is this here? It's almost a distraction. Focus on what's important to that hiring company would be my number one message to you. In order to do so, make your resume clean, clear, and crisp. When we think about today's podcast episode title, Throw Away Your Resume, okay, it was a play on words. Throw away the existing version you have and update to a new version, something that's current, that's something that's clean and crisp and attractive to the eye. If you feel that you're checking the boxes for keywords, that you've got a good visually appealing resume, and that it tells a good story to a future potential hiring company, you're in great shape and ahead of many others out there. Just don't fall into the trap of checking the single box that says, yes, I have a resume. It's, can I locate it? Yes. Do I know the last time I updated it? Yes. And is that within the last 6 months to a year? Yes. If you can start to answer those three consistently, you'll be in great shape for whatever future you plan to apply for. And by the way, if you follow this process by updating your resume, you'll have a higher level of confidence about yourself and your resume when you ultimately submit it. And if there's an opportunity that arises, rather than a job loss or reduced hours, but the opportunity to become a team lead or supervisor or possibly move into management or leadership, this would be ideal to have your resume recently updated so you can just put a few tweaks in it and get your resume in one of the first. There is something to say for resumes that get submitted promptly when positions open. It shows your eagerness and interest to apply and the fact that you're prepared and ready. Don't underestimate having a recently updated resume when you apply for positions that become available. I hope today's podcast episode, Throw Away Your Resume, got you thinking a little bit differently. And to remember to set a reminder, whether it's your computer, on your calendar, or your phone, to just update your resume. Make it a recurring resume reminder. I do have some free resources on my website, craigancel.com. You're always welcome to those. However, if you need a helping hand with your resume, I do provide virtual one-on-one coaching, as well as have my Resume Masterclass. It currently is on special sale because we hit our 1-year anniversary. We're so excited about that. Thank you to those that have participated and been students of my Resume Masterclass. I know it's helped you based on your feedback, and thank you for letting me share it on my website as well with customer testimonials. Also, on top of our crazy anniversary pricing, we are including our brand new Cover Letter Masterclass with the Resume Masterclass. You may not need a cover letter right now, but if you're interested in applying for jobs online and an opportunity comes up, don't throw away that chance because it says cover letter required and you don't know what to do or where to turn. With your Resume Masterclass access, you get access to the Cover Letter Masterclass as well. It walks you through from a blank sheet of paper to finished product. Regardless of what job you're applying for now or in the future, the Resume Masterclass and Cover Letter Masterclass are your companions. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. God bless. We'll talk next week. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our channel. New episodes every Monday. In the meantime, why don't you follow us on social media at Craig Ancel on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. To book a coaching appointment, download our free guides, or join our email list, check out the links in the description below.